Welcome back, everybody, to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Today, we're going to start up Case 3, Recipe for Turnabout.
That's enough! This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts.
It wasn't me! I swear it wasn't me!
The evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from that poisoned cup of coffee.
No, you're wrong! I know what I saw! I saw...
Whoa. Zawarudo?
In the opening? What? I saw someone else there! A man! He's the real killer! Why won't anyone believe me? Well, I did say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you?
Mr. Wright. This court finds the defendant guilty. The court is adjourned.
Well then. The start of the new year always makes me feel like I can take on the whole world. I bet it does, Maya. So, I've decided that our resolution should be... Svari! Take on the world! What do you think? Sure, whatever, Maya, but I think maybe you've had more than enough mistletoe cake. Never! You got to eat a lot of cake during New Year's. It's practically a tradition. Like watching the fireworks on TV or playing a board game.
Hey, pal!
Detective Gumshoe. Happy New Year, Detective!
Likewise. Listen up, Wright, I wanna...
Here's to another fruitful year of lawyer-police cooperation.
Yeah, me too. Alright, pal, you got some explaining to...
Have you got a holiday present for me, Detective?
What? Well, here, have this. It's really not much, but...
Yay, thanks!
Look, pal, we need to have a talk. Take a seat.
Hey, what about Burley? You haven't forgotten her present, have you?
No, no. Are you doing this on purpose?
Guess I'm busted. How did you like my first practical joke of the year?
Very funny, pal. Now let's see how funny you think it is when I show you this.
What is it? A magazine? Hey, I want to see. Deadly poisoning brings guilty verdict. Defense attorney Wright trounced. Trounced? Let me see that. The defense attorney gave an almost childishly amateur performance yesterday. What the heck is this?
It's a report, pal, about you!
Listen to this! Mr. Wright must take full responsibility for the ruling in this case!
Well, and don't tell me you don't remember anything about it!
But I don't remember anything about it. When was that issue from, anyway?
December last year, which I guess makes it last month.
Which makes it old news, you mean? But I wasn't involved in a poisoning case in December! So what do you think this is all about, Nick?
If it wasn't you, pal, then that leaves only one possibility.
No way! You don't mean... A phony, Nick? This must be Gumshoe's idea of a joke. Guess he's starting off the year with one, too.
So, what are you gonna do about it, pal?
What do you mean, what am I going to do about it? Well, it's your fault that the judge found the defendant guilty of this case. My fault? How do you figure that? Because the Phoenix Wright is super famous now. Well, maybe only sort of.
Yeah, see what happens when you hotshots start getting too full of yourselves?
But I didn't do anything wrong. At least, not that I can remember.
You better make this right, pal, now! and that means taking the case back to court, got it?
Sounds like we've got our first case of the new year. Let's tackle it with gusto.
I don't know, the judge already issued a guilty verdict once in this case. It's not gonna be easy to get it overturned.
Guess the New Year's resolution is going to have to wait until next year.
So you're taking the case, right? Good. I'm gonna head over to the courthouse then. After that, I'll go back to the precinct. Drop by if you need some, okay, pal?
I guess people are starting to know the name Phoenix Wright. If a client entrusted a case to me based on my reputation, I guess I am kind of responsible. But why would someone want to impersonate me? What sort of a guy would do that? These are the mysteries that will be unfolding. Right in front of our very eyes. This is so nerve-wracking, waiting to meet our new client. I wonder just what kind of person you tricked and got found guilty. Keep it down, Maya. That kind of talk could ruin me. Ah! How could you, Mr. Wright? How could you do this to me? They put me in solitary. I haven't been able to stop crying. Aren't you? Yes, I am. I am totally and utterly let down. Ah, here. Are you? Don't pretend you don't know me. It's me, Maggie, remember? Maggie Bird. Maggie Bird. Aha! Maggie Bird. She's the policewoman I defended that one time. She was accused of murdering her lover. He was a cop, too. What are you doing in here? Didn't I get you acquitted? Oh, sure! Very funny! After that fifth-rate defense job, you come in here and start making jokes? You better hurry up and tell her what happened, Nick. Oh, I see. So that's where we stand right now. I'm sorry you've been caught up in another murder. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. I vaguely remember her saying the exact same thing last time. I don't mind! What's one more disaster in my life? At least now the real Mr. Wright is here with me. I won't let the world keep me down, sir! So, how come you're dressed up like that, Maggie? Last year you looked so sharp in that police uniform. Huh. I was fired after that incident last year. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I don't mind one bit. I enjoyed being on the force, but I think it was time for me to move on. So, what do you do now? In the second act of The Life of Maggie Bird, I'm playing the role of a waitress. A waitress? Yes, in a French restaurant. It's a small place, but it's quite fashionable. My charming smile and shapely figure came through for me. And the owner, Mr. Armstrong, hired me straight away, sir. And then you got into this mess straight away, right? Yeah, you could put it that way. This whole mess started on the 3rd of last month. And it happened at Tribulations. Tribulations? Yes! It's a restaurant where good service and a friendly smile are always included. Oh. There were 2 men at the table, both drinking coffee. And then... dramatic. One of the men slipped some poison into the victim's cup. The victim took just 1 sip and was gasping for air. I was so shocked I passed out. Hey, hold on there, Maggie. What? You keep calling the guy the victim. Didn't you know the guy who was killed? Not at all! I'd never seen the guy before! Oh. So she wouldn't have had a motive to kill him then, I guess. And the other man, the killer, you saw him, right? Of course! A good waitress must be attentive to the clientele! So, you saw the killer, but you were found guilty of the crime anyway. How come? You tell me, Mr. Wright! I guess the answer to my question is my phony. Anyway, she saw the killer. Better see if I can get a description of the guy. So, if you saw the murderer, why were you still convicted? Because no one else saw. Saw what? The other man. The one who put the poison in the victim's coffee. Everyone testified that way. Mr. Armstrong, the customer, everyone. The victim was sitting alone at his table the whole time. But how's that possible? I don't know, but nobody, not one person, would believe me, sir. Even Phoenix Wright, my one last hope for a fair trial, failed me. What a pathetic defense! My granny could have done a better job! Look, that wasn't me, okay? And then they found something a bit incriminating in my apron pocket. What? A small bottle of poison. What? Poison? It was in your pocket? Well, I passed out when the victim collapsed. The killer must have slipped the poison into my pocket when I was unconscious. And no one else saw this other guy? No, sir. That's what everyone said, but I don't see how they could have missed him. I was the one who took the coffee to the two men. Oh? And what was your impression of them? Well, when I first saw them, I kind of thought they might be in the music industry. In music? How come? Well, one of them had some sort of earpiece and an emo musician's look about him, and there was a sample CD on the table, sir. An earpiece and a sample CD, huh? Did you get a look at the CD at all? It had a band's name written on it. I think it was MC something. They must have been preparing for their debut, I guess. So it was a band CD, maybe a promo disc? Maybe it was MC Screwdriver. Get serious, Maya. Who would buy the CD of a group named that? What was the name of that group again? MC Hacksaw? No. MC... And what about the killer? What did he look like? Well, I don't really remember. Only that it was a young man. All built like the victim, really. So let's present the magazine clipping. Oh yeah, I need to ask you about this. Hey, this article's about my case! Can you tell me anything about the guy who was pretending to be me? Yes, sir! It was the morning after I had been arrested. I met you in the visitor's room here. You were wearing one of your super sharp suits. Me? Yes, you, Mr. Wright. Hey, Maggie, was my evil double I am here, too? No, I don't remember a phony you, Maya. Oh, would have been so cool. And you got really worked up and passionate. I'm gonna get you clear to this crime, you said. Okay, I get the picture, but you've met me in person before. So how come you didn't realize that guy wasn't the real me? I guess, looking back now, it was a little strange. Only a little? Well, okay, so you were a bit taller than normal, and you looked a bit shady, and your voice was a bit weird. Oh, and you had this kind of funny accent, and so the guy was nothing like me then. You had your spiky hair and blue suit. Is that all it takes for someone to imitate me? The hell, man? How about everyone else in the courtroom, like the judge and the observers? Didn't they realize he was an imposter? Everyone had these big question marks on their faces, but it seemed that no one wanted to say anything, sir. This case just keeps getting weirder and weirder. You haven't seen the half of it yet, Maya. Mr. Wright, do you think it's possible to get a retrial? Probably. The court ruled in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. So we should be able to get a retrial. Mr. Wright? Do you think we'll win next time, sir? My life has been a full-course meal of bad luck, complete with defeat for dessert. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed in almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. I even landed a phony lawyer when I had the misfortune of being accused of murder. But I will survive, because Maggie Bird always lives to fight another day. And one day, I'll find it. You just wait and see, sir. I'll find that one single moment of good luck. Sin, I hope. is really gonna pay for this. What are you staring at me like that for? But Maya's right. Whoever it is that thought it was a good idea to use my name and get an innocent girl convicted of murder had better watch out. We'll find him, don't you worry. We'll get generous for you. Thank you. Oh, I'll tell you where Tribulations is then. Right. The restaurant where the murder took place. Yes, sir. When you go, please tell Mr. Armstrong I said hi. Sure. All right, Nick. Let's go check out this restaurant and its food. All right. Let's move over to Tribulations. Wow, look at this place. Look, more like smell. What's with the suffocating scent of flowers in here? Then again, girls like that like that kind of thing, right? Actually, I'm not all that into it. No one's coming to seat us. Maybe there's no one here. Don't be silly, Maya. This is a restaurant and it's open for business. Hello? Anyone here? I don't believe it. There really isn't anyone here. Perfect. Let's get intrusive. If there's no one here, we can take anything we want. Yeah, I suppose we can. Anything like the big, dumb, obvious newspaper over here. It's a rack full of fashion magazines, and they're all in French. Why don't you try wearing something a bit more chic sometime, huh, Maya? Yeah, I guess I could. I'm always in my acolyte clothes, aren't I? It'd be fun to wear normal clothes every now and then. There's something stuffed in behind the rack. Looks like a sports paper to me. Hey, now look at this. Someone scribbled a little doodle on one of the pages. MC Bomber, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. $100,000 maybe? I wonder what MC Bomber is supposed to be. This paper, it's from December 3rd. This paper's from the day of the poisoning. What? A paper from the day of the murder. This has got to be a clue. I should see if I can find out some more about this paper. Alright, so let's head back to the detention center. Present paper. Oh, a sports paper! Let's see. Did Guts and Braun manage to defend his heavyweight title? Sorry, Maggie, that paper is actually a month old. It's from the day of the murder. And Gutson got knocked out yesterday, I'm afraid. Oh, no. I found this paper in the magazine rack at Tribulations. Really? That's strange. Tribulations doesn't get newspapers. Mr. Armstrong says he's not really fond of them. Then maybe one of the customers left it behind? Anyway, what I want you to take a look at is this scribble here. Aha! That's it, sir! MC Bomber! That's the name that was the name that was written on the CD! Just as I thought. I guess it wasn't an MC Screwdriver after all, huh? So that $100,000 must have been a down payment for a record deal, right? If someone gave me $100,000, I'd sing for sure. The Master of Kurain, or the Spirit Song, or even Maya's theme. Okay, Maya. So, if the sample CD was on the victim's table, that means this newspaper may have belonged to the victim. You're right. So the victim left this behind on the day of the murder, huh? I think we better step up the investigation, don't you, Nick? Alright, let's try heading back to Tribulations. Oh la la! Bonjour! Welcome to la Tribulations! Oh, hello? What happened to Maya? She's frozen stiff. Bienvenue! Welcome to my petit restaurant. Huh? Bienvenue? Oh no, my petit julep. Huh? Me? Look at his face, like a kitten rejected by his own mother. You are fatigued, no? Alors, you need this. An aromatic bath of a bath oil melange la nerolal and la rose. My personal recommendation. My French is bad, I'm sorry. You think I need what? Oui, just add a couple of drops of this mixture to the bath water and voila! It will soothe your body and mind. It's simply fantastique. Really? And voila, monsieur. Who, me? Who gets that face? Like a puppy rejected by life itself. You are fatigued, no? For you, monsieur, I recommend this. Oil of bergamot. And maybe a hint of oui. I will add la peppermint and la clary sage for a fragrance exceptionnel. Such an invigorating recipe will bring out your delicious beauty, monsieur. My beauty? Alas! If you will be seated, I will bring you a special menu of the day. Actually, we're not here to eat. We're lawyers. Mais bien sûr! I know this already, monsieur. You are la Phoenix Wright, no? Yes. You know me? My, oui. I will never forget a man who flirts with me, especially in court. I guess he was cross-examined by our mysterious Jinyo. It looks like everyone to do with this case already knows who, quote-unquote, I am already. I wonder what sort of impression Jin Aelp has been leaving on people, don't you? Allow me to introduce myself to you again. I am Jean Armstrong. So what does très bien mean? I know très, that means 3, right? No. Très bien is français. In English, you would say very good. Oh, very good. Oui, exactement. L'atmosphère is très bien, and la cuisine is très bien. If the food's so good, why aren't there any customers in here? La cuisine is not for all. Some people, they do not appreciate la haute cuisine. I thought everyone liked hot cuisine. Since I have lost Maggie, I do not have enough hands. So you're running this place on your own now? Oui, for the moment. No one has answered my advertisement. Oh, pour moi. Please don't eyeball me while you say that. I am the chef. I am the manager. I am also a trained aromatherapist. A roaming what? A practitioner of aromatherapy. The art of soothing la soul with delicate floral aromas. Delicate? The smell coming from that bottle earlier was anything but. So could you tell me what you know about the incident? Bien. It makes me sad to remember it, yet I remember it so well. More than a month has passed since it happened. Yeah, I guess it's been about a month since Maggie's sentencing. So it was the 3rd of last month, just after 1 in the afternoon. A man who was in here for coffee suddenly became ill. Because of the poison in his coffee? That is la truth as I know it. It was Maggie who took his drink to him. I was in the kitchen. I heard the sound of someone collapsing. When I came to see what it was, he was already slumped in his chair. He was dead? Mon Dieu, oui, he was dead. Maggie had passed out also. And this man who died, was he alone? Oui, monsieur. All alone. I know that Maggie said there was someone else, but... I see. The police, they asked me many times. Are you sure there was no one else at the table, they asked. But I am not the only one. The old man said the same thing. Old man? What old man? So who is this old man that you mentioned? At the time of the murder, there was another customer in here. What? Someone else saw it? My, oui, as usual, he came alone that day. At the time of the murder, he was here. He saw it too. But he said the same thing, since there was no one else at the la victim's table. But Maggie swears there were 2 people. My mademoiselle, la lawyer, he could not prove this, no? About the lawyer. That was me, I suppose. My, bien sûr. Wow, he's the first person who said it wasn't me. Don't kid yourself, Nick. Now who's the one making stuff up?
Maggie was a policewoman once, n'est-ce pas?
Yes, but she had to quit for reasons beyond her control.
Oui, oui. She was la suspect in la murder investigation, no?
Oh, you know about that?
That is why I gave her la perfume for la happiness.
Happiness perfume?
Oui, blended from bergamot, like I have given you before.
But she's been arrested again, and found guilty this time.
This is true. Her natural aroma of unhappiness must have been very strong.
Just admit it, your perfume doesn't work!
I am not surprised she was la prime suspect, after something like that took place before my very eyes.
Something like what?
What's this guy talking about?
Does this mean Maggie did have a motive?
We've got to ask this guy for more info. Stat!
Alright, let's try. When Maggie took the coffee over to the victim, did anything happen?
Oui, I suppose you could say so.
So what happened?
No, it was nothing.
Look, Maggie says she didn't even know the guy, but she's still been indicted for murder. The prosecution must have come up with some kind of motive.
Oui, it is true.
If there was anything at all between Maggie and the victim, it could be relevant.
So please,
tell us anything you know.
Bam, bam, bam!
A psych lock? No way! What are we going to do, Nick? We'll just have to remove... What the? What's wrong?
The Magatama! It's gone!
Huh?
I had it in my pocket, but it has vanished into thin air!
What?
But I could see the psych lock. Maybe that means the Magatama's nearby.
Mr. Armstrong? Could I just confirm something with you again? The table where the victim was sitting. Was anyone else sitting there?
That is the question you will have to ask him yourselves.
Huh? Him?
The old man spends all his time dans le parc.
Le parc? Oh, a park? What park's that?
Behind la restaurant. It's called Vitamin Square.
Thank you.
Je vous en prie, my dear.
Let's go check out this Vitamin Square right now, Nick. Alright.